Heather, when I say huge, I am not kidding. There are some huge potholes, and people in one Oklahoma City neighborhood are fed up.
Somebody's going to get killed soon if it doesn't get taken care of.
It's a big problem. We take their concerns to the city. What's kept workers from getting those potholes patched? Plus, a rash of bank robberies. Tonight, a look at the suspects wanted in one of those holdups. And a tragedy avoided at an Oklahoma restaurant.
You see someone with a gun coming, you're going to lock the door.
The manager's quick thinking, why employees say his heroic actions are no surprise to them. It's all right now at 5.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 5.
And thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon at 5 o'clock. I'm Eli Roberts.
And I'm Heather Holman. Rough roads and potholes are nothing new to Oklahoma drivers.
They are not, but they have become a huge problem for some people, especially those who live near Wilshire and Mustang Road. That's in far northwest Oklahoma City. Their cars are getting messed up from what they say are gigantic potholes. News 4's Kelly Rolliard is joining us live from the scene. She's been out on the story all day. And Kelly, it looks like these potholes are costing people a lot of money.
That's right, Eli. This pothole is one of the biggest we've seen along Wilshire and Mustang Road. We're told it even bent a person's rim, but many folks who drive this road daily are fed up.
It's dangerous.
Somebody's going to get killed soon if it doesn't get taken care of.
It's a rough ride along Wilshire Road just west of the Kilpatrick Turnpike. Some drivers are terrified of getting in a wreck.
It's pretty scary when there's an oncoming car that's, crossing the center line.
The roads are awful. The holes, you're having to swerve around.
This picture sent to us from Misty in Yukon. She says one of these potholes bent her rim. Shannon Cox with the city of Oklahoma City says the weather has been a major factor in getting around to fixing it.
We have had quite a bit of rain, and that does create more potholes. Kind of our measure is we like to fill them within 3 days of report.
That's not the case for Pansy Yee's family, though. Her daughter sent this email to the city's Action Center on April 29th.
She heard nothing. That's what these websites are for. They encourage citizens to put in their, complaints or their comments or whatever, and you just expect the courtesy of a response.
But Cox wasn't sure when we asked her about reports made to the city of the potholes.
Do you know if you guys have gotten any reports of them?
I don't.
However, she says they do have crews out every day working to fill them.
Of course, when we have so many reports, we fall a little behind.
Until then, drivers will have to take a detour or face the consequences.
It's very frustrating. That street is there for us to use, and it's not usable right now. It takes a lot of extra time, money, and hazard. It's scary.
Now, we did hear back from Cox on Yee's report, and she says they will get to it as soon as they can. Now, Oklahoma City does have an app. It's called OKC Connect. Now, to report an issue, you just click on it, and it will GPS it for them. Live in Northwest Oklahoma City, Kelly Rolliard, Oklahoma's News 4.
And there's a reason why that is the top story. Those potholes are big. On Crime Watch today, the FBI is trying to figure out if 2 Metro bank robberies have a connection. The latest happening just a few hours ago at the Bank of Oklahoma, located at Hefner and Rockwell. Air Comfort Solutions Chopper 4 was over the scene earlier today. Within the last few minutes, the FBI has released these amazing pictures. You can see exactly what happened. That is the suspect. They say it's a woman wearing a pink ball cap along with sweats, sunglasses, and a mask. What they say is that she gave tellers a note ordering them to hand over money. The woman then left the bank before police could get there. Just hours before that, there was another holdup, this time at the IBC Bank on Northeast 12th and Eastern. That's in Moore. The FBI says a man and a woman walked right into the bank, pointed guns at the tellers, and then demanded they hand over all their money. The suspects managed to get away with some cash, and thankfully, no one was hurt in either robbery.
Also on Crime Watch, police arrest a wanted man thanks in part to the suspect's need for nicotine. Bailey Brunk is now sitting in the Oklahoma County Jail. He was wanted by police for a robbery. Authorities say an Eagle Eye officer spotted Brunk smoking a cigarette outside Mercy Hospital. The officer was able to ID Brunk due to his facial tattoos. Brunk was arrested inside the hospital after an officer followed him back into the building.
Now, first weather from the Forewarned Storm
Well,
Team.
looks like we have this weather figured out finally. Sunshine out there, lower to middle 80s currently. Southerly breezes, nice day. Let's take a look outside on our Tuesday. Tons of blue, not much in the way of cloud cover at all here in Oklahoma City. A nice view there, the Belle Isle Bridge there, lots of green with blue overhead. And metro temperatures are in the lower to even a few mid-80s. Check that out. 84 in Guthrie, 82 in Norman, 81 in Shawnee, and Chandler is 84 degrees as well. It's going to be a nice evening. Skies are mostly clear. A few showers out to the west of Guyman right now out in Cimarron County. Otherwise, it is dry. Evening temperature close to 70 degrees at 10 o'clock, so beautiful. Enjoy your Tuesday evening. Here's the risk for severe weather for late Friday and Friday evening. Enhanced risk well out in western Oklahoma. And for Saturday, most of our state also an enhanced risk, guys. More on that in that timeline and that 11-day forecast coming up.
Mike, it's a beautiful day out there today, but not so over the past week. And that's why Governor Kevin Stitt is trying to get those who were affected by the recent storms and tornadoes help. He's now asking the U.S. Small Business Administration to declare a disaster zone in both Pittsburgh and Bryan counties. It was bad there. Nearly 200 homes and businesses in those areas were either damaged or destroyed by the severe weather earlier this month. What it means is that if a disaster is declared, that's going to allow low-interest SBA loans to be available for homeowners, along with renters and people who own businesses.
A new ruling will allow Oklahoma's opioid trial to go on as planned. A Cleveland County judge has rejected arguments from both Johnson & Johnson and Teva Pharmaceuticals. The drug makers wanted the state's lawsuit against them to be thrown out. One of their claims, the state of Oklahoma has no evidence that both drug makers are to blame for the opioid epidemic. However, a judge did not agree. The state's opioid trial is set to start May 28th. This is a strange story, and now authorities are asking questions. That's because a man from Sand Springs is behind bars after police found his dead wife in his car. That discovery, though, it wasn't made in Oklahoma. It was actually made during a traffic stop in Eloy, Arizona on Monday. Police say Rodney Puckett, you see him right there, told them that his wife, Linda, died at a Texas hotel. He said they were taking a road trip. He claims that he put her body in the car and then continued on to their destination. Court records reveal that the two were in the middle of a divorce and also that Linda had just filed a protective order against him. Rodney faces charges for abandoning a body, but he's probably going to face more charges after all of this is said and done. Rodney is no stranger to law enforcement. He was actually arrested in Kansas last month for trying to run from police. Well, the manager of a Tulsa pizza shop is being hailed a hero. He was able to keep a shooting suspect from walking into his restaurant last Friday. Moments later, the armed man shot two people just feet away from a CiCi's Pizza. Had it not been for the manager's keen eye and quick action, employees say a tragedy could have played out inside the crowded restaurant.
It was a typical Friday evening. Mark Jimenez was pulling up the blinds at the CiCi's Pizza in Tulsa while dealing with a dinner rush. As he chatted with customers, Jimenez noticed something unusual.
I saw the guy walking with a gun in his hand, and then he put it in his pocket, and I thought, okay, maybe he bought it at the pawn shop. But then he took it back out. Then he was walking towards us. I said, I better lock that door.
He stood behind the door until the shooter walked away. Moments later, gunfire. A man had been shot outside. Jimenez helped him inside while trying to keep diners calm during the chaos.
Screaming, kids, emotional, people on phones, tears, shock, disbelief, all that.
Jimenez's coworkers called the act heroic, but not unexpected.
Putting himself in front of everybody and making sure he was the first point of contact between him and the suspect definitely shows what kind of heart he has, not only for our business, but for the community as well.
Jimenez says he never stopped to consider the danger. He just wanted to keep everyone inside the restaurant safe.
It's family. You do the same at home. You see someone with a gun coming, you're going to lock the door. Same thing. Didn't want them in.
Good man. Well, the gunman Derek Shaw ran away from the area after the shooting. He was later shot and killed by Tulsa police. Both victims are expected to be okay.
Heather, from the Sky Center tonight, it was a deadly confrontation and it was all caught on camera. It happened between a Texas woman and a police officer, and before we show you this video, we have to tell you it's tough to watch. Okay, so it all started as a dispute between that woman that you see right there and the officer who was trying to arrest her. She says she was pregnant. Cell phone video shows the moment that things quickly escalated, and That's when the officer grabbed his gun and fired 5 times.
To get the officer's taser away from me and actually tase the officer, which forced the officer to draw his duty weapon and fire multiple rounds at the suspect, who was struck at least 1 time and was pronounced deceased here at the scene.
The woman is 45-year-old Pamela Turner, and police say that she had several outstanding warrants. The officer was there to arrest her, but before she was shot, Pamela told that officer that she was pregnant, but police say she wasn't. The officer involved is on paid administrative leave as all of this is getting sorted out. Also tonight, first Doris Day, and now family and friends are mourning the loss of actor Tim Conway. For years, he kept Americans laughing on The Carol Burnett Show. Conway won 6 Emmy Awards for his work on that show and for 2 guest starring appearances on Coach and 30 Rock. Conway's publicist says the actor died in L.A. this morning after a long illness. He was 85 years old. And that's a look at the news from the Sky Center. Heather, back to you.
He was a funny man. Thank you, Eli. Well, the governor goes from the Capitol to the cockpit.
It's really neat. Just fun for me as an aviation enthusiast to sit in a 747.
His visit to Boeing and what's being done to ensure Oklahoma's aerospace industry keeps growing. We'll be right back. Flight simulators, virtual reality, and new technology. It was all part of Governor Kevin Stitt's tour at the local Boeing facility today.
And while he was there, he also touched on the economic impact of the aviation industry. It could be huge. Here's News 4's Jessica Bruno, and she's reporting on what he wants to see even more, which is growth in aviation.
We are very fortunate to have Governor Stitt join us today. He's going to get a tour of the Avid Center.
And it was Governor Stitt's very first visit to that Boeing Center, which is filled with some pretty cool stuff, like this 3D printer.
Looks like the manufacturing of the future, how they're going to be able to create parts. So that was pretty neat.
One of the things the governor got to do here is this 747 simulator. He even got to land at Will Rogers World Airport.
Simulator's really neat. Just fun for me as an aviation enthusiast to sit in a 747. And so they had me lined up at Will Rogers coming in for a landing. I got it on the ground with a little help from my instructor that was on the right seat.
The simulation was followed by a close look at some virtual reality tools that the company uses to design their aircraft. Helpful for everything down to creating properly sized seats for passengers.
You know, aerospace in general is about a $44 billion impact on our state. It's a huge cluster. It's such an important part of us becoming a top 10 state.
And Governor Stitt says he wants to see the industry grow even more.
We're working with Commerce, and we've just instituted the ACES program to kind of work with Commerce and aerospace to, you know, bring together, you know, not only our universities and what they have to train for workforce, but also to get out and let other companies know around the country what a great opportunity it is to be located here in Oklahoma City.
In the sky, or a flight simulator rather. Jessica Bruno, Oklahoma's News 4.
And it is a big business. Boeing actually brings in $2 billion of revenue every single year right into our state.
We are happy to have them.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
the weather in that flight simulator was amazing.
Yeah,
just
well,
like it is right now.
Exactly. And we're going to find out just how long it lasts after the break. So stay tuned. You want to know.